Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan, and I have a cast of thousands with me tonight. We're going to get into all the NFL. We're going to laugh at the Cowboys. You know, as long as I'm here, we're going to laugh at the Cowboys. That's going to be the first thing we do. We're going to laugh at them. I mean, that yesterday was just pathetic. I mean, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to talk about some things going on with Draymond Green. Mr. I Can't Control Myself. Mr. I'm going to be the highlight for WWE. So Will and Ando can just get on him. Yeah, me and Ando, we're wrestling fans. We'll get him. We'll get it. And then, last but not least, it's going to be yours truly on a Malika Andrews rant. And it's going to be different than Stephen A. Smith. But Stephen A. Smith tried to cape for her. I can't cape for her, though. She ain't my colleague. I ain't got to say a damn thing nice about her. And I'm not. So, stay tuned for that. Let me go ahead and start bringing in the cast of thousands. Look at Ando watching the game. Look at him. He ain't slick. He think he's slick. He ain't slick. He watching the game. He think he's slick. Remember, this man had forgotten more baseball than I will ever know. Remember, my man, 7 and 7. What's up?
Man, I don't know that we're going to make it through this episode. Between Draymond Green, Malika Andrews, the Cowboys, Vince Carter saying LeBron isn't even better than Kobe, and the All-MLB team for 2023 coming out, we're going to be arguing the entire fucking time.
Probably so. Probably so. Oh, my goodness. Let me bring in the next person. He is a perennial Raiders fan. He was so happy. He was just talking all in the chat last week about the Raiders. And he was upset that they gave up a goose egg, but then they exploded for 63 points against that sorry Chargers defense. Bring my man from the Geek Gauntlet podcast with me. Bring my man Ambrose in. Ambrose, what's up?
I don't know what a Malika Andrews is, but she seems to be really stupid. I'm looking forward to this roast because you mentioned her name and I'm reading about it and I'm like, this person is an idiot.
He's I don't know what a Malika Andrews is. She was a Pokemon.
Right how stupid she is. Malika Andrews is a person. Now Cardi B is a Pokemon.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Cardi B is someone where like you expect them to not really have many working brain cells. They clearly make money off of like repetitive beats.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, I can respect the hustle on that. Not my cup of tea. Won't ever buy your work. But you know what? You're putting them time in. You're shaking your ass. Get that buck, girl. This lady, I'm reading about her right now. It's like, who gave you a job? I don't even think you should be fired. I think the person that gave you a job should be fired.
Thank you.
And you should be there as a warning. And everybody that gets the guy that hired you's position, they can be like, hey, you see her? If that happens again, you're fucking fired.
We're going to get all into that. We're going to get all into that because I'm about sick of her. We're going to get all into that. And last but certainly not least, he is also from the Geek Gauntlet podcast. He been hanging out with us. If he's not on the show, he's in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate that dedication. Remember, man, Ando in. Ando, what's up?
He just came out of hyperspace.
The Cowboys, that they were a perennial contender. The Cowboys went into Western New York and put a 1 in front of a 0. You can't stop the run. You expect Dak to throw in the snowy conditions. I'm sorry, Cowboy fans.
Yeah, all due respect, though, you got to take into account the Cowboys might have already thought it was playoff season.
Hey, speaking of, I got this beautiful thing that the Cowboy fans unless they got it back in 1995 Super Bowl championship cup.
Oh man, you stole that from Taylor Swift?
I'm gonna
tell you
hey,
something.
yo. Taylor Swift did not have this. She was not a Swiftie last year. Okay, Swiftie was not a part of the bandwagon last year.
Can I just say one thing? I really think, because I've been watching that commercial with Travis Kelce, and they're like, you could get the flu shot and the COVID shot. He's like, wow, 2 things at once. And I'm like, come on, man, do it. Show us 2 Taylor Swifts, Kelce. Show us 2 Taylor Swifts. And he's like, I'm like, you didn't do it. You had it. It was there. It was there for the taking. You would have been like, awesome.
I got 2 other things. I got to say real quick about the opening. Number one, if we're going to call Cardi B a Pokemon, what the hell is Nicki Minaj? Is she a Digimon?
That's Cardi B evolves into Nicki Minaj.
Oh, all right.
Digimon.
That's the evolution train.
And then finally, Ambrose, I'm going to say this to you with all due respect.
What the fuck?
From a Chiefs fan to a Raiders fan, thank you for finally getting Brandon Staley off the damn Chargers.
Yes, Lord.
14 weeks too late.
Yo, I said it. I mean, honestly, I said it in the chat as a Raiders fan. I said it in the chat as a Raiders fan. You let the Raiders, with a backup quarterback, backup running back, interim head coach, and and the number 1 wide receiver fighting the flu, you let them put 42 points up on you in the first half? If I was Dean Spanos, I would have gone down there halfway through the second quarter and been like, get the fuck off the field.
Give me the heads up. I can call better defense. I'm calling the defense.
Hey, I will say this, though.
I'm calling the defense. You can stop asking that question.
I will say this, though. In defense, Brandon Staley, you sucked all year. But in his defense, there was no Justin Herbert. There was no Keenan Allen. There was no Bosa.
No.
But they're playing the Raiders, man.
If you're playing the Raiders, you should get
that win. They're playing the Raiders.
You should get that win.
You should get that win. Vikings.
You should get that win.
Like, we couldn't put up 4 points to beat the Vikings.
No. Yep. You should have got that win.
It baffles me how big of a turnaround the Raiders showed in less than 5 days. Everybody had the Raiders written off. Like, everybody looked at that Thursday night game and was like, no Herbert. It's the Raiders. I mean, I fell asleep 15 seconds into that game. Like, oh God, here we go. I woke up and it's 63-21 at the end of the game. Like, I had to go to sports.
I went into my normal trip to the liquor store after my shift, and he's listening to the game. And I said, it's the Chargers playing the Raiders. And I said, what's the score? The guy's like, I'm not paying attention. I don't know who's up, but it's 28-0. And I'm like, oh, great. The Raiders are getting shelled again.
Nope.
And like, I go home, put the Amazon Prime on. Of course, it's Amazon Prime, so it takes me like 20 minutes to get the game on.
By that time,
and then it's 42-0.
Yep.
And I'm like, and I agreed with Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was like, yo, I wouldn't be surprised if like the Chargers came out in the second half with a new head coach.
Terrible, man. They were just terrible.
Nobody
again,
surprised about that. But hold on, really quick. We have to put some respect on Easton Stick's name.
We do. We
put up more yards than Aiden O'Connell.
Yep.
Now, part of that stems from the fact that Aiden O'Connell had a bunch of really short fields because of
his name is Officer Farva. Show some respect.
Damn.
But Easton Stick,
you need to lead a cola
yards. Easton Stick had more pass yards than Officer Farva. He only threw 1 pick. They also put up more rushing yards than the Raiders. This is the Chargers for the last 2 years have been that close to being a legitimate contender. This distance, it also measures Brandon Staley in the size of his penis.
And the size of his brain.
Well, this is, you know what, honestly, this is why I think the Chargers will eventually win a Super Bowl when the Spanos family lets go of that team.
No, actually.
Because this is a tale as old as time from the 70s to now. The Chargers have always been one step away from a Super Bowl. They've always been. 70s, 80s. Dan Fouts, if they had a defense, Dan Fouts would be the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL because Dan Fouts would probably win all 10 years of the 80s as quarterback of the Chargers if they could put a defense together. You go to the 90s, they made the Super Bowl, they got bodied because you can't compete against Steve Young and Jerry Rice.
Yeah, I don't care how good that defense was in the 90s.
But
they were
the
not beating
Spanos
Steve Young.
family just did not. They would sit there. It's a hyperbole, Dick. They would sit there and
Oh, Dan showed up.
they would sit, the Spanos family would sit there and say it's good enough. And they'd say it's good enough. And they would not build on what they had. And they would let people go. They should have that team should have, at least realistically speaking, not hyperbolically speaking, the Chargers from the 70s to now should have probably about 3 Super Bowls.
Can I say one thing though? Can I say one thing? I want to thank them for letting Drew Brees go because the Saints got the only Super Bowl win with Drew Brees. So thank you for letting Drew Brees go. We appreciate you.
They let Drew Brees go. Drew Brees got a Super Bowl. They let Eli Manning go. Eli Manning won a Super Bowl.
Two.
Does anybody like in the Spanos family say,
They
"Hey,
Ryan
we're
Leaf.
fucked up"?
And Ryan Leaf that he was almost as bad as Matt Leinart.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about Ryan Leaf being a Washington State Cougar fan. That was a bad choice. That was
Honestly, and I'll give Ryan Leaf. I mean, yeah, he's a bust. If he didn't have the personal problems he had, he probably could have been a really good quarterback. He had the skill, he had the arm, he had the strength.
Maybe.
Obviously, this is all hypothetical. He is a bust. It's been proven. But he did have the skill.
Yeah,
and with someone with those problems, that I really can't blame the Chargers on. Because someone with those problems, that isn't really unearthed until you get to know that person.
Ryan Leaf. Hey, Ryan Leaf showed me how to buy drugs on the internet.
What do you do then? Put a how-to video.
I'm pretty sure it was the other way around, and he ruined his career. But that's neither here nor there.
What did he do? Put a how-to video on YouTube?
No, his ESPN 60 or his 30 for 30 or whatever.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. He mentions in it that he used to buy Vicodin on the dark web, and I was like, "What? You can do that?"
I mean,
taking it literally. Hey, but I do want to say one more thing about this Cowboys Bills game. Y'all realize how many passes Josh Allen completed in this game?
Wasn't he like 6 of 14?
7 of 15.
That's how he wins games.
7 of 15.
You guys this last week.
You can't throw a pick.
Did you guys see his interview?
Guys?
James Cook, 25 carries, 179 yards, and a touchdown.
Don't forget the receiving touchdown he had too.
Yep.
A lot of that's because of Josh Allen, though, too.
Yeah. No,
and a lot of that because the offensive coordinator is willing to use him right.
Okay.
James Cook's not,
And then you have like Dak Prescott, who was like Jubilee on the X-Men.
Damn.
The defense is winning the game for you, and Prescott like shows up in the huddle like, yay! And they're like, get out of here, Dak. You didn't do anything.
We've said multiple times on this show, I know me, Dan, and Will have. Ando, I'm sure you said it in chat. Ambrose, if you remember, you probably said it at some point too. The Bills.
I never said half the things I said.
The Bills have been an actual solid running game away from being a competitive team the entire time. Now, that's not to completely knock Josh Allen. His running game ability is what has kept them in multiple games and won them multiple games. So I'm not knocking Josh Allen's contribution to Buffalo's run game. What I'm saying is he was their run game, and they needed an actual substance to their run game outside of what Josh Allen did. And James Cook has started to provide that in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
But where I do see doom for the Bills, I think the Bills will make the playoffs, but I think Josh Allen, watching him this year, is he has taken, and it's not really shown as much as it is with Dak, because Dak's playing a crappy division. I mean, yeah, they made the playoffs. They're going to be knocked down the first round, whatever. Josh Allen has taken a huge step back developmentally. Huge.
That's not really. I mean, yeah, dude, that's not his.
Guys. I gotta get this. When you said Dallas is going to get knocked out in the first round, Dan just went crazy. You disagree, Dan?
Well, he said Dak. I was talking about. You said Dak was going to get knocked out in the first round, right?
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to get knocked out in the first round.
That's what he was talking about Dak, Will. But
Yeah,
I do have something about Dak for Ando, though. Hey,
What's
Ando,
up?
I have an analogy for you about Dak Prescott. He's like a cat that, is like nice to you and stuff. And it's like your cat, it's like, oh, it's cool as shit. And then it bites you one time and you're like, God damn it. I was trying to be cool with you, cat. Like, that's Dak Prescott to me. It's like he's good for a while. Like in the season, he's like, oh, he's good, kitty. Yeah, that's good. And then he bites shit out of you for no reason at all. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck, man? I was trying to be cool.
It's like I love,
and then you forget that he bit you like 2 weeks later, and you're like, hey, this cat's kind of cool. God damn it!
I love. It's like I love that meme where it's like Santa, and it's like, what do you guys want for Christmas? And it's like Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, and they're like, can we have a playoff win? Or no, they were like, we want dragons, Santa. And he's like, come on, guys, be realistic. All right, give us a playoff win. And Santa's like, okay, what color are those dragons?
And you're exactly right, Dan, on the analogy with Dak Prescott, though. Because think about it. What was it, 2 years ago when he got hurt for the season in like week 5, week 6?
Yeah, against the Giants.
2 weeks later, he was still leading the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is leading the league in touchdown passes this year, but it's not going to get him anywhere because he's still going to fall flat if they actually manage to make the playoffs.
I mean, I just think Allen's taking a step back.
Or are they getting hot
He's
at the
not
right
the quarterback
time?
he was last year or the year before.
But right now, it doesn't matter if they're getting hot at the right time because they don't control their own destiny anymore. They need a bunch of other teams to lose on top of winning out.
Check this out. The benefit that the Bills have is they don't have as tough a schedule as the Dolphins do because the Dolphins still have to play the Cowboys, which could be a joke, and they still have to play the Ravens. And keep in mind, at this point, it's a race between the Dolphins and the Ravens of who's going to get that 1 seed. If the Ravens somehow lose to the 49ers, which I would like to see, and then see the Dolphins lose to either the Cowboys and or the Ravens, suddenly that 2-horse race becomes 3 if the Chiefs can get their shit together, which they partly looked good against the Patriots. But as you and I were talking before the show started, Kadarius Toney, you cannot defend him anymore. At this point,
you gotta realize that Dak's got a fragile ego, and they made the playoffs. So the Dolphins will almost certainly beat the Cowboys because they're going to protect Dak from any criticism.
Hold on, wait. It's in Miami, right?
No, that game is actually in Gary's World, if I remember correctly.
It's in Dallas.
I'll take a look.
I mean, but they're gonna protect Dak from scrutiny because they made the playoffs. They don't want the criticism. They don't want him going into the playoffs with no confidence. So the Dolphins have a very good chance to beat the Cowboys. I don't think they'll play Dak against them.
We've seen Dallas.
No, the Cowboys play in Miami next week on Christmas.
It's in Miami. That's a loss because they can't play because they've already told you they can't play on the road. It's totally the play on the road is something totally different than playing at home.
And not only that, they can't play when the offense has to be on the field for an adequate amount of time. When you actually put Dak under center, and he has to actually call a game and be a field general, he fails every single time. If he's on his own 50 or beyond, he does not do a good job. He cannot control a game. He needs the defense to carry him. He needs the defense to get that interception and put him on the other team's 20 so he can get the easy layup. He cannot call his own game.
When they're not getting scooping scores, or they're not having short fields, or Bland is not getting pick sixes.
Dak Prescott is that kid at the playground when you played playground basketball and you didn't know what offsides was, who just sat at the other end of the court and you just hurl the ball down to him so he can make an easy basket.
And I think it's kind of interesting that everybody has seen what other teams have done to Michael Parsons. They pretty much running straight at him. They're making him make a decision.
Mm-hmm. He's a third down D end. Yeah, he is. He's incredibly talented. Don't get me wrong, but he is a pass rushing linebacker. He makes business decisions because he's smart. Like he wants to go after somebody. He wants to bring the action to them, not have the action brought to him, because it's not fun. He's not a big linebacker. I get it. Small. He's going to get paid a lot of money at some point, and he doesn't want to jeopardize that by fucking taking on 330-pound left guards that are running full speed. Honestly, like, and he just wants to go after a quarterback on third down. He wants to go after a tackle when he has a 4-yard head start. You know what I'm saying? Like that's basically what he wants to do. It makes sense.
And I gotta ask, because Does anyone think, because Jerry knows he's stuck with Dak Prescott, no other team is going to take him on as a starter. No other team is going to take him on as a backup with that salary. So from here on out, what do the Cowboys do at quarterback?
They got to stick with Dak.
He's actually not that highly paid, though. He's absolutely come offable. If you look at their numbers,
he's making starter money, and you're not gonna trade for a backup with starter money.
Well, what's the alternative? Give me an alternative give me an alternative to Dak Prescott, and I'll be like, okay, well, we'll move off of it.
I mean, maybe he's a starter in Cleveland or Arizona, but he's not going to a big team.
I agree with you that he needs the right situation. That's clear. But like that's almost every quarterback outside of who? Patrick Mahomes at this point?
True.
Everybody needs the rest. Like, hey, and real quick on Josh Allen, though. Real quick, rewind. You said, Ambrose, that Josh Allen has taken a step back developmentally.
I think he has, personally.
Psychologically, I think, though, that may be. But like psychologically, he has taken a huge step up. Because when he came in the league, he was this guy who had this fucking cannon arm, right? He was just going to fucking go around and sling it. He was going to be Patrick Mahomes, but 6'6" and can run it, right? Yep. He realized that's not his fucking game. He can't do it because this is the NFL, right? Yep. So I'm going to use my athleticism to just grind it out, win games, get a yard when I have to on the ground because I'm 260 pounds, and you can win in the correct situation in the NFL like that. Mm-hmm. So Josh Allen actually took a huge psychological step forward by realizing that he isn't that guy.
And to compliment your point, he hasn't gotten hurt.
No, he hasn't. I would say, if any, personally, I would say
there is validity to what you're saying.
Yes, I will say he's grown this year because in certain situations, like if you'd have taken him from the second or third year in that game against Kansas City, he would have thrown interceptions late in that game against Kansas City. Instead, what did he do? He stayed in the pocket, made the runs when he needed to, took the yardage that the Kansas City defense gave him, and that's how he beat Kansas City. Against Dallas in second or third year, he would have been like, hey, guys, we're only up by 2 scores. Let's go ahead and put the pressure on him. I'm going to put the ball down the field. Crap, I just threw another interception, or I took an ill-advised sack. What'd he do? He said it exactly in his press conference. I felt like that kid who didn't really contribute in the class project, but I still got an A. Why? Because he took care of the football when Dak did not. He made the plays smartly, handing off the football or dumping off the ball when Dak did not. Dak took the ill-advised sacks, and that's why Dallas fell behind early. Buffalo was able to use the run game to keep Dallas's offense off the field. Yep. Not that they weren't going to do anything, but the whole point was the longer that the Dallas defense was on the field, it got more tired, which gave Cook that much more time to run.
I mean, and I'll go with a quote that I remember. I'll go with a quote that I remember when I was a teenager, and it's the only reason I know who Billy Joe Tolliver was, because honestly, no one remembers Billy Joe Tolliver.
I do,
but he did have a good game with the Saints one time, and they lost, and he threw for almost 300 yards. And the reporter was like, "Do you even know your stats? He threw a good game." He was like, "Why the hell would I give a shit about my stats? I lost."
Yep.
And the reporter's just like,
Yep.
And Dan, what did you think?
I forgot what I was going to say before that. Sorry. Smoked a bunch of weed because I knew I was going to have to be on it with Ambrose.
I figured you would have been naturally high because of Rioli coming back to Nebraska, man.
Dominic Raiola, baby. Or no, sorry, Dylan Raiola.
Dylan.
Biggest. Yep. Yeah, Dominic played for the Huskers. I'm going to give you guys a quick Husker lesson. Huskers in the 90s were pretty fucking good. In 94, 95, Dominic Raiola was the center. And now his son is the number one quarterback prospect in the nation in high school. This guy's a fucking
number 2,
legit number 2, whatever.
Class of 24.
Holy crap! I'm picking this up on my news feed real quick. There was a rare gust of wind in L.A.
Yeah,
and LeBron James instinctively just like dropped to the floor and started flopping like a fish.
Oh my god!
It was in the middle of Rodeo Drive, and people thought he was having a seizure.
Like father, like son? Too soon?
Too soon.
Jesus.
That's not too soon. I will not question your comedic timing, sir. It happened. You said it. You did it. And that is genius.
Hey, I could pull a you and say that half the shit that comes out of my mouth I never said.
Yeah. I don't want to get technical, but I believe Bronny's was cardiac arrhythmia. And you said seizure. Just to get technical.
True. I'm not a doctor. They look the same.
We got a Monday night.
Yeah.
We got a Monday night game going on, guys. We got the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the beating the Seattle Seahawks 17-10.
That one's got
They
a
should
minute
be
left in
winning
the
that
third.
game by
I
2.
don't think Geno Smith is not playing.
How long is Seattle, speaking of coaches that are past their prime, because I think the Patriots are, they're going to have no choice but to part with Belichick.
They already announced it. I think at the end of last week.
So I'm behind the curve on that one.
Yep.
I think Pete Carroll is going to be the next for them to say, we got to go in another direction, Pete.
I think 2, 3 of
you don't necessarily have to run away. You can throw whatever you want in a general direction and see if
no.
Three of the 4 longest tenured coaches between Belichick, Carroll, and Tomlin will all be gone from their teams within the next 2 years.
I wouldn't necessarily fire Tomlin because Tomlin does still find a way to win. He's just having a bad season this year.
What'd you say, Dan?
How is Pete Carroll having a bad season?
That's what I'm saying.
Pete Carroll is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. This motherfucker is taking Geno Smith to within a game of winning their fucking division right now. If you guys haven't been watching the,
I just hate Pete Carroll because he looks like he yells at his assistant for buying the wrong brand of gum.
No, that is Sean.
It kind of looks like Pete Carroll looks like the type of guy where his assistant will show up and be like, "This is Wrigley's. Damn it! I asked for Hubba Bubba."
I know one thing. If he wins tonight with Drew Lock, you got to give the man some credit.
Dan, I do want to correct you.
He's like 94.
Yeah,
Dan, I do want to correct you. San Francisco did clinch the division yesterday with their win against Arizona. Okay, so there's no chance.
Is it a wild card? So
they're still in the race for the wild card, but
they're going to win the division.
You were right. I was thinking about Denver. You're right.
Yeah. The Seahawks are 6-7. Come on.
I don't know.
Come on. Oh, he might make the playoffs with Geno Smith. They're 6-7.
And to be fair, on Dan's point, they did make the playoffs last year with Geno Smith.
Yeah, and Geno had a fucking MVP year.
I think if they'd have drawn anybody but San Francisco in that first round, I think they would have beaten Minnesota, and they definitely would have beaten Tampa Bay last year.
I mean, they make the playoffs with a crappy quarterback that don't make you a good coach, just puts you in a shitty division.
Dude, their defense was dominant last year, man. Their defense was what kept them in games.
Picks. Pete Carroll makes great picks, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Makes great picks.
I mean, what?
Bobby Wagner.
So many people. Yeah.
Yeah, those great picks are really showing up in the win-loss column.
I like Zach Charbonnet.
I'm sorry, what's your Raiders record?
Hey, I've already been on record. I've already been on record on the Raiders record and saying I know my team sucks, so I can talk shit about anyone I want.
Hey, I do like. Hey, Dan, I do like Zach Charbonnet though.
It's kind of like being in the bar and you're like, oh no, I know you can totally kick my ass, but I'm still gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
I like Zach Charbonnet. I think he got some potential with the Seahawks.
That's the running back from UCLA, right?
Yep.
Dude, that kid's got some moves, man.
I like him. Yep.
Drafts really well. Pizza, like he's 94.
Well, I think
he's still out there. He's still cognizant.
The benefit that Pete has is that he was the college coach, so he knows what he's looking for people that go from college to the pros. I'm sure he's got that eye on the ability to determine what game translates from college to pros. That's got to work in his benefit.
So
you're right.
In all seriousness, and speaking of the Raiders, with the win against the Chargers, do you guys think Antonio Pierce has at least earned a season or 2 seasons as a coach?
Absolutely.
If you
Mark
look at
Davis is a fucking idiot if he doesn't give Antonio Pierce a shot. He will lose. Here's the thing. They could sign Bill Belichick. They could trade a high draft pick for Bill Belichick because Bill still has 1 year left on his contract. So pretty good chance unless Robert Kraft out and out fires him, which I don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to try and get something out of it. So I think Bill Belichick leaves this year because of a trade. The Raiders could trade a high draft pick for Bill Belichick.
I don't think that. He's not. He's not the fit for that culture.
Way, bro. Bill Belichick will literally pull a Javon Belcher before he gets traded. Before he gets traded,
damn, man.
Listen, he will fucking pull the Javon Belcher.
I have no doubt that Robert Kraft would be like, okay, if we're gonna get rid of you in this manner, let's say the Chargers are willing to do their second round pick. Do you want to go coach the Chargers? And he says yes. He goes to the Chargers.
I mean, I'm with 7. It's a respect thing.
Yeah,
the guy did a lot for your. Like, you got to realize before Belichick, we were all making fun of the Patriots as much as we're making fun of the Raiders right now.
Hell, we making fun of the
Like,
Browns with him there.
You know, he did. Belichick and Brady bought that franchise into the century and bought them into the NFL and made them a respectable franchise. Everyone laughed at the Patriots.
We're making fun of the Cleveland Browns when Belichick was there.
And you can't, I mean, you can't just unceremoniously dump him. You have to sit him down. It's kind of like in the Army when a general has kind of lost his wits. You got to say, where do you want to go, man?
But they didn't just ceremonially dump. They gave him this year.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying you can't. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can't just at the end of the season unceremoniously fire.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
You got to treat him like an elder statesman, and you got to say, where do you want to go?
Trade him?
This is
Why
the
not?
same coach
Sean
we're talking
Payton got
about
traded.
that. This
Why
is the same
not?
coach go ahead,
Why
go ahead,
not?
Adam.
Why not give him the opportunity to go to where he wants to go, and you can
Have you guys
call
seen
up
Moneyball?
Sandy, or you can
Have
call
you
up
guys
a
seen
team and
Moneyball?
say,
The movie?
hey, man, us and Bill are parting ways. We want to show him respect. We don't want to kick him to the curb. He's done a lot for the organization. We're willing to send him to you. What do you want to give us for him?
Hey, just to let you know, Sean Payton got traded.
Sean Payton got traded. John Gruden got traded.
John Gruden got
but,
traded.
like, people are gonna remember if the GOAT fucking gets traded at the end of his
But
career.
here's what. No, let me go back to what I was
Do
gonna
it.
say. Let's say a crazy scenario happens. Bill Belichick gets traded to coach the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah.
You will, even with a great like Belichick, you will still lose half your fan base because the fans are so behind Antonio Pierce at this point.
True.
That as an organization, there comes a point where you got to say we kind of really have to look at making this choice. Now,
I think at this point, I'm sorry, finish up. I'm talking over you.
This is the same guy who quit the Jets using a napkin. I'm just saying.
True.
That was fair, though, because he didn't want to be Bill Parcells' bitch. He wanted to make his own name. And Seven had a point. I'm trying to let him finish.
The point is, as an organization, Mark Davis has realized, first of all, that he should have given
Nick Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia the job.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he's realized that was a mistake at this point. He is now in the almost exact same scenario.
Oh, yeah.
And adding in, Bisaccia didn't have the clout, the player clout that Antonio Pierce had because of that run that the 2007 Giants did and them fucking up the Patriots Super Bowl. So I don't think anybody can disagree with any of that. That Antonio Pierce is in a much better position than Bisaccia was, partially because Pierce is getting better results than Bisaccia did when you look at things from a grand scheme.
Well, and to piggyback off what you're saying, I mean, I think Bisaccia should have had a chance, and I think the team, in the grand scheme of things, is much better right now if Bisaccia is their coach than hiring Ronald McDouchebag. You know, I mean, it's Davis has acknowledged he did what his dad could not do, and he acknowledged that was a massive mistake this season. He said he should have given Bisaccia a chance.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
And I think it's gonna hit even harder if he doesn't give Pierce a chance, because, like Seven said, Pierce is a relatively young coach. He has the locker room. Mm-hmm. He's been to the promised land. He was David when they slayed Goliath.
Yep.
And he knows how to reach this locker room. And if it's not going to happen overnight, but over the next 4 or 5 years, if they can perform solidly in the draft and they can get people to want to stay there and build a culture that makes great players want to come there through free agency, the Raiders can be back to where they were in the 80s and 90s and back to being a franchise that we're not laughing about.
I'm going to say it like this as a Chiefs fan. If they do not keep Pierce, that is the dumbest organization, hands down.
All right, you guys.
I mean, we've been a laughing stock since we lost the Super Bowl in 2003. Yeah. It's got to change.
All right, guys, I do want to go ahead and get into the hardwood, talk a little Draymond Green. Let's go. Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to go around the room and I want to ask this question. I'm going to go around. Dan, we'll start with you since you're our NBA aficionado. What I want to do is ask each and every one of you. And let's calm down our patience a little bit so everybody can be heard. Dan, I'll start with you. The Warriors keeping Draymond Green?
No. Draymond didn't have much time left at this point. He was already. I mean, watch him play. You can tell that he's not only lost a step at this point. I mean, his mind has kept him in where they think that he's still a good player at this point. Really, is what it is. I mean, because that's what it always has been. He's never been athletic, so he was able to last it out a little bit longer than. And I know all that shit on the side. That shit's been going on for a while, but performance, tolerance.
True.
For a while, performance was here. Tolerance was right underneath it, right? And he could just keep it there. And now performance and now tolerance is coming down as well. Basically, is what's going on. He's not the same player. He doesn't hold they're not those Golden State Warriors. They're not 2017, 2018, unstoppable. He was the perfect piece for those really good teams, for sure. But they're going to amicably let go of him. I haven't been listening to his podcast. I wanted to listen to his podcast at least a couple of times to see if he's saying anything about it. I'm sure that he fucking is. If not, that's dumb, and that's why nobody listens to that fucking podcast. But like, just saying. But like, yeah, if he hasn't said anything about it, but it'd be interesting to see what he's saying about it. He's a smart guy. He's probably on the same fucking page. He's like, yeah, dude, I got stuff I want to do outside of basketball. He's made enough money. He's going to continue making, like he has shit to do at this point. I think that I think he's even more interested in that. I think he wants to do after basketball. So no, he's not going to, if he does come back, it's going to be weird. You're not right. So it'll be a little weird. But like, no, he doesn't come back. He's not going to come. He's never going to be a good player again. If that matters. I mean, nobody cares about Draymond playing for the fucking Rockets. Where are the Rockets out of? What team are they? Yeah, I didn't even know there was a team in Houston.
What is it though I'm reading? Because obviously I'm not like the NBA is not my strong suit. But you said you were talking about Draymond Green. I did some research tonight. What is this I'm reading about him like starting fights with people that he knows that won't fight back or that he knows he could take?
Draymond, I don't think Draymond gives a fuck who it is, dude. That dude is fucking down, throw down in the fucking prime time when he's pumped up.
No, I think he does pick. And the reason why I say that is because no one, Rudy Gobert won't go try him for nothing. That's Mr. softest cottonelle tissue I've ever seen out of a man. But yeah, a lot of time he sucker punches you. And you don't see that, you don't see it coming.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I mean, this is why I don't like this era of basketball. Because if you did that back in the day, Bill Laimbeer would take a baseball bat to your head at center court.
He's like
you didn't have to Bill Laimbeer. You didn't have to even go to Bill Laimbeer. Go to Xavier McDaniel. Go to
Karl Malone. Go to Xavier McDaniel.
Charles Oakley. Those Derek Coleman. Those guys.
Yeah. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman would have knocked his ass out.
They didn't care, but Draymond picked him out. He picked him good too.
Yeah,
he couldn't do that.
He does. He's like
I found him at his car. I wouldn't give a damn.
Right. He's like a vulture, or like they say a T-Rex used to be. They're like they're scavengers. So they try and scare stuff away before they ever have to fight it. Basically, they're like, oh yeah, if we just scare them away, and like a good way to scare things away is by hitting little guys. Like just, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, that's what he does. He just does
choking Gobert when Gobert doesn't even see it coming.
Exactly. The fucking sucker punch choke. That's a sucker punch choke.
See, man, this is what basketball's got to have. Like, this is what basketball's got to have the self-policing that hockey does. Like, you've got to have that one guy. You've got to have that one guy on the court, like there used to be. They'll be like, Draymond, calm the fuck down, or there's going to be a problem.
You just can't, and you just can't at this point. Like the culture of the NBA now with their upper management and stuff, and their fucking and Adam Silver and their
won't tolerate that shit.
He just won't do it. Yeah, dude. He's trying to go global, and that's what he doesn't need is a bunch of black dudes on a fucking court fighting for real. That's fucked up to say. Is it not? Will like that's exactly like it's cultural, and he doesn't want none of that. Let's just say that. So, like,
but I mean, honestly,
they had the brawl at the Palace Auburn Hills too. They had the brawl at the Palace Auburn Hills too.
That's what I love about hockey is the refs are there to enforce the rules of the game. The players police the rest, and basketball needs that. Basketball used to have that, and they need to bring that back. You have hockey. You always have that one guy on each hockey line. Someone hits a blue chip player. yo,
Here's the thing that gets me with
cool that
Draymond.
shit down. There's going to be a problem.
Here's the thing that gets me
And
with
then the game
Draymond.
calms itself down because the players police themselves.
Here's the thing that gets me with Draymond. Yes, he's shooting from the field, 49% from the field.
Holy
But in
shit,
terms
over
of points
45.
and every other category, he's still averaging a triple single. He's at 9.7 points per game.
It's
Triple single. I love it.
so
Triple
a guy
single.
like Ambrose, a guy like Draymond in previous years would have been that guy on your roster that policed for those
He
things.
would have been the enforcer back in
He
the day.
would, yeah. Draymond, and that's the thing is Draymond is just an aged enforcer, and it has gotten away from him. And I say it like that specifically because you want guys with the mentality that Draymond has on your team. What you don't want is the way that over the last few years, which is why he's in the situation now where he's just not allowed to fucking play, is the way that he has been utilizing that enforcer mentality. Because what was it last year? He stepped on a player intentionally.
That's last year. Yeah, last year.
So to explain it to someone like me that doesn't really follow basketball as much as you guys, he's running into the same problem that Ron Artest did.
No, not really.
No.
I don't think Ron was that
Imagine-
bad.
Let me say it like this.
No, he wasn't.
So we've used the Rodman. Rodman was brought up. Okay, there is a legitimate comp to Rodman with Draymond Green, but Rodman, instead of leaving before he took a complete downturn in everything, including when he's using his physicality and his assholeness, it's a complete bottom of the barrel. No, am I wrong? Like somebody
You're
correct
not
me.
wrong.
No, I actually was
You're
going
not
to
wrong.
compare Draymond to Dennis when you and Dan were talking, because there's so many similarities, right? He doesn't score. Rodman didn't score. Hell, if Rodman got 4 points a game, people were excited.
So it's Rodman or a gangster Boris Diaw.
Okay,
Is what the actual is what the comparison is.
Okay.
Like,
hey,
I mean, but
how
you can throw the scoring. You can throw the scoring out there, and you can say Rodman didn't score. But did Draymond contribute like Rodman did? Like Rodman was a fucking baller.
Yes.
If you go back,
Draymond was a point forward.
Draymond for the longest brought the ball up.
Yeah, and I would say Draymond was your enforcer on defense. He made sure people put their assignments together.
Great defender, all-time great defender.
And that's great when you have players like Durant and Klay Thompson and Seth Curry who can take all of that pressure and all of that media attention off you. But who do you have now in Golden State? You have Seth Curry. He's not playing as well as he is. Klay Thompson is the show of who he used to be. So all of that media attention now is going to Draymond. So it's being reflected.
I'm just putting that in mind right now.
Well, Wiggins is playing terrible.
Yeah, they're just doing
he's playing terrible. Klay with those two injuries, what getting over those two injuries, what do you expect?
Yeah, I would. I was actually just getting ready to say that, Mr. Facebook user, that if Golden State was playing better, this would not be an issue. Like Golden State winning all those championships and making it to all those finals. It takes, this is just an intense team. They're not a bully, but they're an intense team, and they're going to fight people back. Now that they're losing,
it's because it's not that Draymond is getting physical. Because honestly, if it was just that, that's all it would be, whether Golden State was good or not. The problem is when Draymond is.
That's just me on another computer.
I
haven't been typing, I swear. You guys saw.
It's the problem, and that's why Adam Silver finally had enough, because it's escalating. It went from once or twice every once in a while, where it was happening last year, but there was 2 or 3 things last year that were just like, this is a problem, especially when you factor in the issue with Jordan Poole before the season started. But now, this year, you have 3 ejections in the first 30 games, all for legitimate problems. The Rudy Gobert, because of how they utilized the marketing of Rudy Gobert, they had to suspend Draymond at that point. And I'm surprised it was only 4 games. I expected 6 to 10. Because you didn't do enough there, now they had to drop the hammer down and make it an indefinite suspension because they didn't take more action when it happened with Rudy Gobert. because they should have done they should have done more then.
Exactly. I agree.
That's my argument.
I think Adam Silver has, as a commissioner, he has a lot of problems with the NBA. I mean, the NBA is becoming increasingly harder to market. And I think it's just because the nature of the sport makes it individualistic, and you can't have. In the other generations, you had a universal player, and I guess this generation's universal player would be LeBron, but LeBron doesn't really accept it, and he doesn't do the commercials, and he doesn't do what Jordan did. And he doesn't do what Jordan did, and he doesn't do what Bird and Johnson did in the 80s. I mean, I'm not saying LeBron doesn't accept it, but he also doesn't do it the same way the other guys did. And they don't have brand ambassadors. They don't have anyone that goes out and supports the casual fan.
No brand ambassadors. What are you talking about,
What are you talking about? LeBron James is one of the most famous people in the world, not just athletes. He's
that's
one
because
of the most famous.
Everyone loved Space Jam 2. But I mean, that's
understand this. Look at everybody else behind him. Luka.
Yeah.
Greek Freak.
European.
And I disagree with the promotion part, because if you take away a couple of bad apples and Draymond and Ja, look at the.
I'm not even talking about the bad apples. I'm just talking about. Look at the positivity you have there. Look at what David Stern did in the 80s and 90s, and you had Bird and Jordan doing the shot contest, and it was advertiser friendly, and it was everything. And it's kind of like this generation of NBA players, and there's nothing wrong with it. They're all there to make their buck, but you're not having. He should have Stephon Curry and LeBron James in a McDonald's commercial recreating that Jordan Bird commercial. And they're not doing it.
Ambrose, I'm going to respectfully disagree, man. Check this out. I think Adam Silver has been. I'm going to
disrespectfully disagree.
Dude,
I'd expect nothing less from Dick.
Silver has turned basketball around. Silver has driven the NBA to be an overseas brand now.
The best commissioner in sports.
I think he's better than Roger Goodell. I don't remember what Rob Manfred, is that his name for baseball? I don't follow
Rob Manfred is the worst commissioner in the history of any sport.
Hold on, wait a minute. Say it, Seven. Say it. Fuck Rob Manfred. Say it.
Fuck Rob Manfred.
Yeah, there you go.
The job you have to be to make people forget how fucking bad Bud Selig was.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Yo, if I was dying on the street, and Rob Manfred was like, I could save your life, I'd be like, fuck you, you killed Chief Wahoo.
I'm gonna say it like this. Again, I don't follow baseball a whole lot. I'm a Mariners fan, but I don't follow the day-to-day operations like Seven does. I'm not big into the NBA. I don't follow it real big like Dan does. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, and I'll catch their finals on ESPN when the app comes through. But I think
Pippen was your favorite player, right?
What's that?
Pippen was your favorite player, probably. Then that's most people that are Bulls fans.
You know what? No. I said a lot of people say they love Horace Grant back in the day, and I said, "What the hell are you?"
Horace, baby, Bill Whittington.
Right?
If you want me to be honest, my favorite player for the Bulls, Jordan, is a very, very close second. But I liked Derrick Rose more than I like Michael Jordan.
There you go. That's awesome. I love Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Horace Grant's twin brother at a restaurant that I used to bartend at that I'm not going to name.
Oh, Harvey.
Horace Grant's twin brother used to come in.
Yeah, Harvey.
Dude, yeah, Harvey Grant. Mm-hmm. Regular. Super nice guy. Some dude picked a fight with him, and it was literally like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
If you've never seen a man over 7 feet go balls to the wall and throw hands, it was like, and I'm looking at my manager. I'm like, I'm not breaking this up.
We don't break up one.
I'm letting him go. I'm not. I'm like one
on this show.
I'm like one, and the guy said some unsavory things to him, and the guy was talking to him. And I'm sitting there, and I'm making my drinks, and I'm like, dude, you do not want to go down this road. This guy is very well liked at this bar, and you were saying some very, very fucking rude things to him.
It's like,
and he looked at me, and I was like, take my advice and walk away. And the guy didn't walk away, and Harvey was just like, all right, I've had enough. Wiped his mouth, threw his napkin down, got up, and just started beating the shit out of this guy. Like if the restaurant had a front that was made out of glass, he would have thrown him through it.
Oh, real
And
quick,
and the guy's like looking at me. I'm like, dude, I'm 5'10", and I haven't exercised in years. I have muscular dystrophy. Like I'm not gonna get in the middle of it.
Stop that fight.
Hey, real quick,
I'm Jeff
Ando,
Van
real
Gundy
quick.
getting into that fight, holding him by the leg. Stop, don't do it.
Hey, real quick, Ando. Real quick,
Like,
Ando.
I'm sitting there, I'm like,
real quick, Ando,
Harvey, come on! Like he's just using me at that point to beat
Yeah.
the shit out of this guy.
What's up, Will?
Real quick, Ando. I think it's Tom Thibodeau's fault that Derrick Rose got hurt. Because if you go back, if you go back and look at it, that game he got hurt. They were leading in that game. He got hurt.
Yeah,
And,
don't get me wrong, man.
he was still in the game. Why?
I loved the mentality that Thibodeau brought to that team because that team needed toughness when he came in.
Yes.
And just, dude.
Tom Tibbs, Tibbs is going to play the Penguin in the new Batman movie, I heard.
Damn, he fat enough to do
no,
it.
what I was going to say, about Silver, fuck off. I don't know who you are, Facebook user.
That's fucking hilarious.
I mean, I like
they're hilarious. They're hilarious, whoever they are.
Yeah.
What
I was going to say about Adam Silver is the dude knows how to connect with global audiences and bring the game.
Of course he did. Of course he does. You see those ears?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
He could hear from Mars.
But, I mean, David Stern kept the NBA in North America, which is great. And back in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s, you didn't see a whole hell of a lot of people coming from overseas. It was when Adam Silver took over the commission and said, hey, check this out. We need to be a global brand. The NFL doesn't do that. I mean, you don't see people from the NFL come from Ukraine and England because football is not a private. Basketball is a universally loved sport.
Respectfully, I'm going to disagree with that because Stern did a lot. David Stern did a lot to make basketball a global.
Stacks, man.
Like David Stern did a lot to make basketball a global sport. David Stern looked at baseball, looked at the NFL, and said, "I have athletes just as good as these guys. Why am I third?" And he did a lot, and he was bringing guys over. He was bringing over guys from Yugoslavia. He was bringing guys over from Russia. He brought in Yao Ming. I mean, Silver is building off of that. But Stern was a marketing genius, and he picked talent out, and he bought the NBA to what it is now. So, I mean, if it was I'm not saying Silver's a bad commissioner, but Stern took the NBA from being an awesome land in the four major sports to where, like, it was ahead of hockey because hockey was a bunch of ice rinks surrounded by bears. And, like... And he actually made them. He made the NBA. He took them from being like, oh, we have teams playing in forums that hold 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And
he made it a spectacle. And he made it.
What's up?
Can I say one thing? Let's also not to get the forefathers because you look at Magic, you look at Bird, you look at Jordan. Let's not forget the NBA was on tape delay before 33 men did what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm agreeing. Let's
remember that.
Yeah, but David Stern took it from being a game that was being played in county civic centers to deserving arenas and deserving.
What did you say, Dan?
We were all on David Stern's side, I think. I don't think that anybody said anything about
No. I'm just saying that I was disagreeing with Ando because I think he's giving Silver credit where the credit should go to Stern.
I think credit deserves both places.
I agree. Yeah, Stern laid the foundation. Silver is perfecting it. How about that?
There you go.
Okay, all right. I'll accept that.
Real quick.
I mean, the way you were, if I could say for a minute, the way you were explaining it, I think you were kind of discounting Stern and making it look like Silver did all the work.
I will rephrase it. Yeah, I got David Stern.
It seems like no, not you.
You look at naked pictures of David Stern like you look at naked pictures. That's all.
I mean, me and David Stern go way back. His synagogue and my church were next to each other, so we.
So you shared.
We used to just hang out. I was a hockey player, so I always laughed at him.
You're not Jewish, Ambrose? You're not Jewish? That's surprising.
Real quick, I gotta yell at.
No, I'm not Jewish. Dan Ambrose, Catholic name.
I gotta yell at Stacks
for a Catholic name.
I gotta yell.
This is an Italian nose. Respect it.
Go ahead, Ando.
Cool. I got to yell at Stacks real quick. Stacks, as much as I love you, Luol Deng, I'm from a city in Iowa called Sioux City. We had one of our boys, Kirk Heinrich, come from Sioux City.
Yep,
if I pick anybody from Chicago that I like more than Luol Deng, Kirk Heinrich representing Sioux City, Iowa. Let's fucking go.
Hey, y'all want to talk about stealing money? And y'all want to talk about stealing money? Luol Deng stole all that money from the Lakers.
All of that money from the Lakers.
All that money from the Lakers.
Luol was a good player for a second. Get off his back. They were just terrible.
Oh, hey, for a minute he was. But when he got to the Lakers, he was done.
Yeah, no, I'm not just
started playing basketball when he was like.
I mean, Charles Barkley is my favorite all-time player, and I think he robbed the Rockets.
Real quick,
no.
I mean, I think
I
just remember that picture of Charles Barkley just laying on the barkeeper's table. I was like, the Rockets would pay this guy like $50 million.
That was Pippen who robbed him. He robbed Portland too. He robbed Portland too.
It started with Draymond Green. It started with Draymond Green, this whole thing, right? And Will, you appropriately said we were going to take turns, which we didn't end up doing. But all-time, the technical fouls with Draymond, he's not even in the fucking top 20 of all-time technical fouls. You know who's number one?
Dennis Rodman.
Nope. Rodman is 5.
David Robinson.
One Karl Malone, number 1 ever in technical fouls. And that's not counting the young girls.
Kirk did go to Kansas. Yeah, that's college that he went to.
When asked about young women, Karl Malone responds with, "That was a different time in my life. We all lead our own lives."
Chris Hansen never told him to have a seat, so it didn't happen.
Nope.
People ask him about it all the time. And he's literally just like,
why do you think he changed his jersey number from 32 to 11 when he went to the Lakers?
No.
Count it.
And one, bitch.
Count it.
Yo, how fast would To Catch a Predator have been canceled if like Karl Malone walked in the house?
Oh, no way, dude. That would have been
Chris Hansen was like, have a seat, Carl. Have a seat right here.
That would have been the number 1 show on CNBC, bro.
He was
kidding?
All right, guys, real quick before we go. Oh, yeah. I agree. Stacks, I agree with you. He was that boy at KU. Yeah. He was. Yeah. He was. I got to give you that.
Absolutely.
I love Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk was cool.
Kirk Heinrich is now an accountant, I believe. I'm just kidding. Yep. He works at Chase Bank, possibly, as a manager, maybe?
Probably. I thought he was the manager of the Cubbies down the road at my gas station.
Leave Captain Kirk alone. He had some big shot from the Bulls back then. He played for when the Bulls wasn't that good. Come on, man. Come on, man. We can use a player like Captain Kirk right now.
Kirk never has to pay for Pussy and Lawrence. Kirk Heinrich never has to pay for Pussy and Lawrence, Stacks.
And Sioux City.
Never does.
And Sioux City.
Never does.
Hey,
he pays for everywhere else.
We got Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan. That's it. Big Vu show.
Those are not really like,
but that's it.
Nikola Vujovic. Never.
He show up every now and again. That's it.
Yeah. I will say we did beat the Heat though earlier this week.
Yes, we did beat the Heat. Yep, and beat the Bucks. And got to the Bucks. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Surprise attacks.
That'll help us get 10th place into the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Surprise attacks.
All right.
Nobody thought the Bulls were going to beat him, and they were like, "Surprise!"
That's
Zach LaVine's fucking trick.
Look, I think
Zach LaVine coming, he's fucked.
I think the reason we beat the Bucks was because Giannis was still pissed at the Pacers for taking his game ball after he scored 64. That's why he was pissed off.
I'm sort of kind of on Dan's side on this. I think the fix was in on that game. I ain't gonna say in front. I think the fix was in on that game.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You guys are starting to sound like us Knicks fans.
I think the fix was in on that Indianapolis Milwaukee game. The fix was in. Yeah. They want the Lakers to win that.
The whole thing, Will, is that exactly what you're saying. Like, Adam Silver has incorporated entertainment into the NBA. That's his fucking crowning achievement, dude. All this drama and all this stuff outside of basketball that the basketball players do, especially with LeBron and all that shit, is fucking Adam Silver's doing, dude. He's making it a fucking drama reality show, but the results are actually played and there's tangible proof of who's better at said reality game. You know what I'm saying? Like he's making it a real life reality show, like a real one. And it's fucking brilliant. It's just like wrestling, but he's taking it into in the next level. Yep. That's why, I've compared this.
That's why I said the fix was in.
I was just getting ready to say all
we're
missing is Vince McMahon to show up at the halftime show with the ring and bam.
Hell yeah,
you got the W. You got
LeBron.
Exactly.
LeBron, congratulations.
LeBron,
you're fired.
Exactly. Oh my God! Oh
my God!
my God!
Killed him.
What a dunk! Oh my God!
Can you see Jim
but
Ross
it's really-
calling? Can you see Jim Ross calling the NBA Finals right now?
I would
My
laugh.
God Almighty!
Oh my God, he's on fire, Will. He's on fire.
Give me Jim Ross and Stan Van Gundy calling this Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Jim, I
That
think
would
you
be
need to
amazing,
calm down.
I
man.
would watch that with the sound on.
LeBron James has gotten past page 1 of a book. Oh my God, JR, have you seen this?
He said page 1.
His Jim Ross's fucking call is
We
puppy.
actually have to buy him a bookmark. He's gonna lose track.
Real quick, guys,
I'm
before we
actually
go,
gonna bring
did
up on
wanna-
screen.
Real
Hang on. No,
quick
go ahead,
before
go
we
ahead.
go, real quick before we go, I did want to go into a little Malika Andrews rant because people keep asking me about her.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Ando.
Who the fuck is Malika Andrews?
That's what Ando said.
No, she's dumb.
I
Look it
know,
up.
like I'm legitimately asking who the fuck is Malika Andrews?
Did you
Yeah,
watch
I know.
Did you watch the NBA? You didn't watch the NBA draft, did you?
NBA draft? No, I got more important things to do. I'd
Well,
rather beat my asshole than watch the NBA draft.
Well, it seems, and a lot of African American males think this, that she has an issue with black men. And if you go back and look at the stories she's done, it's all been about black men. Ume Udoka, go back, but yet and still she talks about him, brings up every black athlete, brings up every black coach and what happened in their history. But when the whole Josh Giddey situation came up, she ain't said absolutely nothing for weeks.
Now, Josh Giddey was the one who was caught with the underage chick, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys said you'd be talking about her, so I pulled up like 3 or 4 articles. And to me, my interpretation of who she is like, if you're at a party and it's like the 5 of us talking sports, she's like that dumb girl that is like, I know sports. And we'll just like start talking out of her ass. And it's like, oh God, why are we doing this?
Are you making picture assumptions on people right now, Ambrose?
Am I making what?
Picture. You're looking at a picture and imagining what they are as people.
No, I'm reading articles. Reading.
He's actually doing research.
She is so unknown. She is so unknown that she does not even have a picture on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just reading articles. And she seems like the most brain dead person to ever have an opinion on anything.
Didn't you just learn about her 45 seconds ago? How are you reading articles on it?
I can multitask, Dan. I have about 5 windows open right now.
Okay. I'm trying to get a book of LeBron James. Can somebody share my screen over here, guys?
Damn.
There we go.
Yeah,
that looks like
look
that's
at
about
him. He's
100
on his
pages
belly.
deep.
He's enjoying it.
That looks like about 100 pages deep in that thing.
Oh my God, those pictures must be beautiful.
My sister's listening to the podcast.
Acknowledgement.
My sister's listening to the podcast, and she made a comment that said Malika Andrews is that person that would describe Kobe Bryant who won all those IndyCar races.
I have a legitimate question, and this question is new because it's something that since I've seen all the from Malika Andrews come up, this is something that popped into my head. Because I understand within the black culture, and I would say it like that, black people tend to hold each other to a higher standard because of trying to get over those humps and those hurdles that you guys have experienced throughout previous history.
Yes.
Is some of what Malika Andrews has done, focusing on the flaws of black athletes over white athletes, is it possible that it stems from that and she's just overcompensating too much, so to speak? And I'm not defending her actions because every reporter should call everything straight, regardless of race. And I get the criticism, but is it possible that that's where her bias comes from? Because she's not white, obviously.
Malika, Uncle Tom Andrews.
Like, is it overcompensation?
I mean, you know what? And speaking seriously, and to play devil's advocate on her behalf for a minute.
Get serious, Ambrose.
What?
Now you're gonna get serious, huh?
Well, I mean, someone's got to be. It's not going to be you.
You got it, Ambrose. Floor's yours.
So I mean, I think
It has been.
when something like that happens, and I think it's with every culture, you don't want to make your culture look bad. You got Italian writers, and they're gonna skew it the way they want to do it. Same thing with Irish writers. Same thing with everyone, and it's kind of being pointed out because with her, it's standing out more. But and I'll play devil's advocate with that. She's a young reporter. She's trying to form her own narrative, but it's not translating to the press very well.
The problem is she's trying to make her living off the backs of her own race. And that's my issue with her. Somebody told me the other day I'm hating on her because she married a white man or because she's pretty. I don't give a damn who she married, and I don't give a damn how pretty she is. You're going about things the wrong way. You're going to report the news.
If she married a black guy and it was ugly, we'd be like, that's what I'm saying. Like it is.
You report the news. You report the news. You report the stories, and be done.
And that has been a lurking problem. That has been a lurking problem with sports. Is that sports and comedy were the last bastions where it's like I can escape from the bullshit that is the rest of the world, and I can watch people play a game, or I can watch people tell some jokes for at least 60, 90 minutes. And now it's even creeping into that. And it's, I mean, there's got to be a line drawn somewhere. Because I want to watch. I don't care if you're from fucking Mars. If you can throw a football, I want you to throw the football. I want you to do well. I want you to entertain. I want to escape from the rest of the world while I'm watching these games. I don't want to be reminded about everything else going on. Everything else going on will still be there when that game comes off. And
we've lost you as an NBA fan. We've lost you as an NBA fan, and honestly, we're okay with that. Like it's fine. Like there's a lot of people who were lost as NBA fans because of the way that direction that it went. Like, but it's just there's still a lot of NBA fans. Like there's still, because it is, dude. It's one of the funnest sports to watch on TV for sure. It just has that. And people like playing basketball. Honestly, like a lot of people play basketball. Like it's just like
and I wouldn't necessarily say, but I wouldn't necessarily say you lost me as an NBA fan. I think basketball is a wonderful sport. I think there's a lot of great players. It's more of I don't have time to watch it. I used to play hockey. I relate to it. I used to play baseball. I relate to it. And football's on once a week, so I have time to watch it. Basketball is kind of just the odd man out for me. It's not like I was like, oh, I'm not going to watch basketball anymore. Like I
think you were.
Fell out of it.
I think you were kind of like, I'm not going to watch basketball anymore.
Real quick.
I think you were.
I want to go to Ando real quick. Ando want to say something real quick.
Oh, fuck yeah, I do. Seahawks just scored a touchdown, 29-yard pass from Locke to Smith and Jigba. Seahawks are up 20-17 with 28 seconds to play.
They win this game with Drew Lock. You got to give Pete Carroll props. You got to give Pete Carroll props if he win this game.
Right, well, I think they should have anyway.
And now, if Philly loses this game, you really got some questions you need to ask. You really got some questions you need to ask.
Clinch the division.
I think Dallas takes back number one if Philly loses the game because they're both 10-4. But at the moment, with the schedule looking the way it is, Philadelphia will have the division lead. So if they tie, Philly will take it.
But are both Dallas and Philly in the playoffs?
At this point right now, they're both clinched.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't read up on the playoffs.
The four teams that have clinched the playoffs, still 4 out of the 14 spots available. San Francisco clinched a spot and their division, so they'll finish in the top 4.
Yeah, that
Philadelphia
division's garbage.
and Dallas have both clinched a spot, but they're still fighting for their division. And then Baltimore is the only team in the AFC by virtue of their win over Jacksonville last night.
Yep. All right, guys. I do want to say one thing though. I do want to say one thing though, real quick to get back on Malika. I just think it's wrong to further your career off the backs of others. And I also want to say one thing to you, Stephen A. Smith. Listen, bro, you have to look at the room. You have to look at who your fan base is. A lot of your fan base are black men, and you are caping for somebody who's done nothing but disrespect us in the media. Hell, she did an event the other night and got booed.
Well, I have to kind of disagree with you. I think Stephen A. And you obviously don't maybe agree with me. He's kind of an Uncle Tom, bro. He's kind of Uncle Tom too.
I think he is, man. I don't think of the ball.
But
I think he does too. So I don't know because he said I like Stephen A. Smith by the way. But I think that he whenever you're giving your opinion that much and that strongly, often you're just going to get it wrong, or you're going to get it close. You know what I'm saying? Like what a lot of people believe is wrong, because he does it so strongly as well that it makes it, so everything's like very, it's very like intense when he does it, and he just gets shit. If he gets shit kind of wrong, it's like, oh, because he did it very intensely. It's kind of a big deal. But
can I ask a question real quick? Is Stephen A. Smith still with ESPN?
Yes.
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
So he's their highest paid employee.
So
no, he's not. He's not. Pat McAfee.
So just throwing this out there.
Yeah. Pat McAfee.
How much of this is what Stephen A. Smith actually thinks, and how much of it is the executives at Disney saying, Stephen A., don't say what you actually think.
Right. We need you to do this.
Or we need you to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point, Ambrose. That's a good point.
Push this part. Push this part.
I got it for us.
Oh, for sure it is. But like he's still doing it as like a journalist. So at that point, you no longer have any credit as a journalist. So like I mean,
I agree. But I mean, I just want to know where the line is between what he actually thinks and what they're telling him to say.
You're right, bro.
Correct. Because I think what he actually thinks, because old school, he always, he did play both sides very well. He just gave an honest opinion. But now you're probably right, Ambrose. He definitely gets fucking nudged by that giant.
He gets pushed. Yeah, he gets pushed.
That fucking Jew-hating maniac.
I do gotta say, I do like Stephen A. more than I like Skip Bayless. Fuck Skip Bayless.
And water is wet and bullets kill people.
What's that?
Who likes Skip Bayless?
Skip Bayless
even likes Skip Bayless.
Yeah, dude, every Cowboys fan loves Skip Bayless.
He's a genius. Skip Bayless is a genius. Whether or not you like him or not, he created that whole format, that morning show format of like the disagreeer and the, there's an antagonist and a protagonist to every one of those fucking shows.
Oh, he's the original troll.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
He's the original troll. You go back to 1995, there were no other trolls. It was Skip Bayless on cold pizza being a troll.
And he figured out it works. And he figured out it fucking works because hate gets you on there just the same, right? As people loving me watching on the show. They love to hate.
He'd sit there and when everyone was like, Tim Tebow's garbage, he'd be like, no, he's not. And he knew damn well Tim Tebow was garbage.
Yes. He knows damn well the Cowboys. People hate the Cowboys. He knows it. So.
Again, my sister's listening to the podcast, and she said that I'm wrong, that nobody likes Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless likes Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
And his wife likes him.
Yeah.
Why does his wife look like him?
What? Look like him?
Maybe they're inbreded? I don't know.
Or like it. You said look like him or like him?
His wife looks just like him.
Very similar, like his sister.
Yeah.
Sister, but it's not. It's not.
Well, maybe his sister is the only one.
Because he likes himself a lot. Will he found a female?
Maybe he's just a real
himself. Yeah.
Maybe he's a raging narcissist that he saw at the end of a bar last night.
What are the odds of that?
Hey, that chick looks like me. I want to fuck her.
What are the odds of that to happen?
So it looks like Seattle just got the ball. Hurts was intercepted at the Seattle 17 by Julian Love. It is, yep. It looks like at this point it's going to be over. So
it's over. That's it.
That's off to the Seahawks. I got that game wrong. I figured Philadelphia was going to win it.
Drew motherfucking Lock.
Yeah, I think
got you a video.
I mean, Drew Lock played game manager definitely, but that you had to have something ready for that defense against Jalen Hurts. So that defense deserves the caps off.
Now you have to start asking questions about Philly and how legit they are. But I just want to say real quick.
I hate to say it at this point, it's going to be San Francisco from the AFC, and I'd like to see Kansas City. But I think honestly, it's going to be probably Baltimore and San Francisco. Real quick, I just want to say my little label thing here, National Ref Ball. I am in firm belief that they are trying to get the Ravens and the 49ers to the Super Bowl. If you look at the colors of the logo for Super Bowl 58.
I said that the other day.
They are purple and red. It's going to be the Ravens and the fucking 49ers.
I said that the other day. Yep.
Fucking bullshit, especially considering that.
Battle the Harbaughs.
Yeah. Well, it's not because Harbaugh isn't a part of the 49ers no more. But I will say this. I think, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I talked about it last week. The referees need to stop getting involved so much and let the goddamn players play the game. 3 calls this week I think were definite BS. One of them being in the Jacksonville-Baltimore game when Jacksonville scored that touchdown in the end zone in the fourth quarter. Total bullshit. When you get your analyst, your color-by-color commentator, and I hate Chris Collins' work.
I
Fuck
do
that
too.
guy. But when he goes, now, yeah, that should be a touchdown. There's a blade of grass between his foot and the end zone. And then you get Terry McCollin, a well-respected referee analyst on NBC. When you get all three players to agree, and New York goes, no touchdown, no touch. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't agree with
bullshit.
that. I mean, I agree human error is part of the game, and if there was no video review, I'd be like, all right, that's the way the game ended.
And then
If you got guys in New York looking at it in slow motion and you're still getting these decisions, something's wrong.
Yeah. It's
like,
I think it's going to play out to be Baltimore and San Francisco in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see it. I think Lamar is a good player. I don't personally like him. I think the quarterback position, you should run when you need to and then throw. And he's that guy that's like, I'm going to take off.
I mean, I thought the NFL was rigged for years. After 9/11 happened, I swear to God, I told everyone, I was like, the Patriots going to win the Super Bowl. And I was like, you're crazy. I was like, nope. Red, white, and blue, baby. Patriots taking the Super Bowl this year. And I was like, the Patriots suck. Come on. Bledsoe
I
gets
would have been
hurt.
totally okay with the Patriots winning that Super Bowl had Bledsoe started and led him to a win.
But they went back-to-back, though.
No, they went back-to-back 3 years later because they lost. They
2
didn't
years
make it to
later,
the
just
playoffs in 2002.
They didn't go
because it
back-to-back.
was-
They broke the Rams back-to-back up.
No, they went back-to-back in 3-4, 03-04, and
Yeah,
04.
because that was Super Bowl 38. So Super Bowl 37 would have been Buccaneers and Raiders, and that was the one that John Gruden basically Gruden knew the entire offense of the Raiders, and he played quarterback.
Yeah, because fucking Bill Callahan didn't bother to change the playbook, and everyone was like, "Hey, you're playing the guy that wrote your playbook. Shouldn't you change it?" Nah, it'll be fun.
I gotta say this because the guy sitting to my right, Bill Callahan, who used to coach where?
The Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Thank you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Who just landed the number 2 five-star quarterback from the state of Georgia, who committed to Georgia and then decommitted and went to Nebraska. That's how awesome.
I'm going to say it like this. I told one of my friends that I saw at Walmart today, because that's where I work now, is I'm the OSL guy who does the phones.
I know. I went through corporate, Walmart and trailer parks. I went through corporate. I saw your name on this. I saw your name on the job.
You got that job, Bando, because of Dan.
Yeah.
I didn't want any credit, but
thank you, Dan. Thanks for approving my application.
Hey,
I appreciate
I like to help
it.
my friends out when I can. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, go to work.
But anyway,
go to work.
what I told
fucking
him is Nebraska will actually be fun to watch this year. I think now with them having a fairly competent quarterback that I think will depend on the arm rather than the RPO and the running. That game, I think Nebraska will be a team to watch.
Bro, handed them the keys. We just put our next 4 years or 3 years probably in the hands of a fucking 18-year-old kid, and I feel great about it. That's how bad our program has gotten.
Yep.
To where I just think that
when you get an
18-year-old,
when you get an 18-year-old kid as kind of like the shining beacon of I would say still a 5-star university as far as like the class goes. Because
I mean, look at schools like Nebraska and Notre Dame have definitely taken a hit in favor of the Florida schools on places in better climates.
Yeah.
They still have history, and a lot of kids still do want to go there.
Oh yeah, no.
All right, guys. All right, guys. You better go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Now I'm reminded of that damn Super Bowl. Fucking Bill Callahan.
Yep.
All right, you guys. We better go ahead and wrap things up. I'm gonna say thanks for everybody who came through. Appreciate you guys coming through. Seven's internet went out. We'll see Seven again next week.
Well, what you got going on, Will? What you got going on?
Me? Absolutely.
Yeah, what you got going on, bro?
Absolutely. About doing sports report fight night tomorrow night with Josie. Go talk with some wrestling action. There's some rumors saying that Sasha Banks might come back to the E. We'll see. Talk about Sasha Banks and her injury. We'll check on that.
Hold on. I got to pull this out. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Blam.
Oh, snap. Hello.
Custom Sasha Banks coffee cup.
Hello.
Keep it behind my computer for personal reasons.
She's for her. She's straight for her size. But
yeah, dude.
We're gonna be talking about that.
He doesn't have it covered up.
I'm sorry. What's that?
Can you imagine Ando's webcam footage when he doesn't have it covered up?
Why do you think I keep this covered up? Like,
yeah, you put there's a piece of tape right above
absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. I don't need the government looking. Look, yeah, they don't want to see
what tape on mine. Hey, bro, I use the secondary one, so you got to plug it in.
The government's like, good God, he's doing it again.
They just want to sell you stuff. Like he's not doing anything.
He's that guy at the security camera with the lotion and the tissues from South Park. Just
put the lotion in the basket.
Yep.
Put the lotion in the basket. But
sorry, I have to apologize. My sister is still listening to the podcast. I'm not sorry that I just said that.
She knows.
She better. What are you saying, Ambrose? That my sister is watching.
No. It just maybe that she has an idea that that's what you do a lot of time.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Women coming over.
Real quick, do a sports report fight night tomorrow night. Do a sports report fight night tomorrow night. I'll be back on Thursday night.
I think my sister is cute.
Chicks don't watch sports.
Oh wow, you are a Walmart employee.
Damn. And then Thursday night, I'll be over. Player versus team, talking some basketball with the crew over there. Then Saturday night, hopefully I can get these two gentlemen back on with me for a Geek Gauntlet podcast. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Are we doing that? It's Christmas Eve.
What we do?
No, Christmas Eve is Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck my calendar up. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll see what my schedule looks like. I think
Ambrose has Fox News every night for the next, 7 days a week. Ando's got his Fox News slot where he comes on there and they all yell at each other and they agree on shit.
Look, if Anderson Cooper can get a show, I think Ando Anderson should be able to get a show. I wouldn't talk news. I just talk random bullshit. Wait, I would fit in just right.
You talk current news.
Random bullshit.
Yeah.
You just literally just say whatever you want. As long as it pushes the correct agenda, you're
My
fine.
sister just said that I am random bullshit though, so.
Yeah, you can make you can just talk about weird stuff that happens everywhere, like Florida.
You know what?
Weird stuff happens.
I'm going to start every episode of Fox News going, all right, cut the intro music. I'm just going to sit here and ramble on incoherently for the next 5 minutes before the first commercial break. KFC came out with a new snack wrap that I still have not had, but I will say KFC as the number one chicken available in the world. And see, I bored Dan.
They're putting cheese on the McRib, by the way, which is
weird. Ando. Keep going, Ando. We're gonna run credits. Keep going.
That is weird. Amber.
Why are they putting cheese on the McRib?
It's going to be discredited from my future Fox show, just so you know. Actually, maybe I'll bring Dan on, and then it'll be like, oh shit, Dan's here. We got to cancel the show now, Fox.
Oh,
they would just be like, it would just be like everybody agreeing with everybody.
No, it'd be like. And now Dan's on. Dan will just come on for 10 seconds and be like, LeBron made it to page 10.
Damn.
No, they're going to change it from the AAA show. And I'll come up with some acronyms like Ando A something. And then it'll be like the Triple D show will take over the night slot. So we'll go from A to D real quick. What do you want now? What's up?
All right, you guys. I want to say thank you.
I would be canceled. My sister just said that if I had a Fox News show, I'd be canceled quicker than Skip Bayless.
Damn.
Skip's been on for 35 years. You're having a run at it, bro. Rest of your life.
Yeah, has Skip ever been canceled? They just kept changing the name of his show.
Yep. He's a genius.
Way to go. Thanks, guys. I got a show now for 35 years. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Fox News, my sister.
That's facts. That's facts.
They've literally just changed the name of his show. He's never really been canceled.
The logos. Guys, my logos for my Fox News shows is going to be lotion and napkins. There we go.
Damn. You have to remember the basket.
Yeah, I'll get the basket. And I'll have a string.
It's going to be in a basket.
In the basket. Put the lotion in the
basket. Put the lotion in the basket or put the lotion in the napkins in the picnic basket.
Will, I don't know why you invite me on these shows, but I'm glad you do.
Here's to you, Will.
Hey, I like to get good people together to talk good stuff. All right, for everybody out there at TV Land, thank you so much for watching us. We do appreciate it. And I'm finna run out of here. And on that note, I'm hollering at all of y'all next week, same time, same place. You guys have a great night. Peace.
Free Fernando. Fernando Tatis. Be free.
Free?
You don't have to be like your dad.
Juan Soto to the Yankees. Got World Series number 28 coming up.
Free.